Collectibles, welcome back to another video. Now today Shannon and I have wanted to do this video for a long time and we are going to be doing a Disney tag. Of course, feel free to follow us and do your own tag with these questions if you would like. We would love to see everyone's answers to these, and today we shall be finally sharing ours. Of course, if you watch our channel and our previous top Disney movies, you'll know this, but mine is Mulan.
That would be Cinderella, as you can probably see from the wall behind me. And just as a warning, probably a lot of my answers for this are going to be from Cinderella, so you'll definitely be able to tell that this is my favorite Disney movie. That would be Tangled, which is also my second favorite Disney movie in general, and probably where the rest of my answers that aren't Cinderella are going to come from in this video.
Kind of like when I think of classic movies, I think of like the Disney princess movies. I'm assuming that's how I interpret the question. So if I had to pick a favourite non-classic one, it would be Monsters Inc. I would say that is Finding Nemo. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it is Monsters Inc. It's either one of those. I know Finding Nemo was the first one I saw in cinemas. I'm wondering if that's like the first one ever, but I don't think so now I'm thinking about it. It could be either Finding Nemo or Monsters Inc. Because I remember having Monsters Inc. on like a VHS tape. So either one of those.
So I didn't watch too many Disney movies growing up. It wasn't a really big part of my childhood, and I kind of had the same movies that I would watch over and over again. And the two that I remember the most would be The Little Mermaid and The Aristocats. I loved both of them so much, but I don't remember the exact first one I saw, so I'm just going to say The Little Mermaid because that's my favourite out of them, and I did watch it a lot.
Would be Mulan, my favourite movie.
Cinderella, obviously.
Well, even Li Shang isn't like an official prince like from the start. Like the other ones, you know, like the prince in like Cinderella and whatnot, but, or like Prince Eric and Little Mermaid, he's just like a warrior, but he is officially considered a Disney prince, so I will pick Li Shang.
Flynn Rider from Tangled, easily. But Prince Eric is amazing as well, so Flynn and then Eric.
Again, it's from Mulan, it's Mushu. He's so super funny, very cute, and very iconic.
Maximus, the horse from Tangled, he is greatness personified in a horse. Horsified. Greatness. He is greatness horsified. I love him so much, he is amazing. I want my own Maximus.
That might actually be from Frozen, I'm thinking. I actually really liked Show Yourself from Frozen 2. I sing that song all the time, and I just really actually love the songs in that movie, like Show Yourself and Do the Next Right Thing, both very beautiful. Yes, Show Yourself may be my favourite.
I'm going to have to say A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes from Cinderella. You know, I love it very much. I have the lyrics actually up there on my wall, my little Cinderella wall.
Well, Disney princess, right? I mean, I know people say like it's not what it's cracked up to be, and there's quite a lot of stories out there online, but if we're just dreaming, and you know, even if it's just for a day, you know, who doesn't want to dress up as their favourite Disney princess and work at a Disney park, and you know, just be that character for a day? The most magical thing and the closest you could get to being that princess.
I would love to voice a character in an animated Disney film. That is one of my biggest dreams ever, also to voice a character in a Barbie film, or just to voice a character in any animated film, because I love animation so much and it's actually my dream and something that I really want to pursue, hopefully for a career. I really want to look into voice acting and everything like that, and so obviously my dream Disney job would be to work for them as a voice actor, even just one time in one film, even the smallest of characters. But of course I would like to be the lead character, the princess or whatever. But I would love that so much, just that experience, being fully immersed into an animated film. I would love for that to happen one day, definitely.
So I don't actually collect a lot of Disney stuff, but the things that I do own of Disney and buy are the DVDs and the dolls, even though I don't have much of either of those, but if I buy anything Disney, it's usually those two things.
I guess my favourite thing to collect would obviously be dolls, soundtracks, have a few CDs, and books and mugs. I like to collect mugs in general. I do like plushie toys. I don't collect that many, but I do have this lovely Rapunzel in the back there. I love her very much, and I have another one, but I'll be showing that to you soon.
Ooh, I reckon that might be my Elsa doll that I have, from the first movie. I got that from Hong Kong Disneyland, so it is quite special to me. It was like one of the first kind of really good, I don't remember if it's my first Disney doll, but I do know that it's the first like good quality one I got, and you know, she's so special, you know, she sings and she's so pretty, so yeah, I'd say her.
This Cinderella plush doll that I have, she's one of the oldest toys that I have, and also because I do have a specific memory with her from those years when I was very, very young. So my brother and I have always been close, and we've always liked to play together, even today. But back then when we were very young, I had this Cinderella and he had a Bob the Builder plush toy. We would have our own little game. Basically, we would go into our parents' bedroom, jump up and down on their bed, and every single time we would say, "Let's get ready to rumble," and Cinderella and Bob the Builder would then have a wrestling match. And another reason why that memory is so special is because I can look back and I can see how Cinderella was always with me. It wouldn't be until years later that Cinderella would become my favourite, and not only that, but such a huge part of my life and something that means so much to me. I can't say how much I love Cinderella, and looking back on that, it's like she was always meant to be with me, she was always meant to be a part of me. That's why this girl here is such a treasure to me. Okay, so there is a lot of Disney park questions on this list, which I find a little bit annoying because not everyone has been to a Disney park. Can't exactly answer these questions because I've never been to a Disney park.
Well, I've been to two. I've been to LA and Hong Kong. I know LA is like the most iconic because, you know, it's like, you know, it's like the kind of original one, right? But I'm gonna have to say Hong Kong because I feel like when I went to LA, and I definitely want to go back again because I know I would change my answer, but when I went to LA, I was at school and like I just feel like I didn't make the most of the experience like at all. And like when I was in Hong Kong, I fully made the most of the experience, you know, like I tried from start to finish in the day. I did everything that I wanted to do, and you know, I met one of the characters. I wanted my way to do that. I met Tinkerbell. I wanted all the rides I wanted to. Like, I did all the shows. I watched the parade. I watched the fireworks. I did everything. And I, like, did none of those things at LA. You know, I don't know. Like, I was just, like, around my friends and, I guess, just doing, not one of my friends, really, but doing what they wanted to do. And it just like ruined the experience for me, and I just feel like I can hardly even remember it. Like I remember Downtown Disney, which is like the street before you go into Disneyland, better than I remember Disneyland Park. So I'm gonna have to say Hong Kong for now, but I know that answer would change if I had have made the most of the LA one. But the ultimate for me is going to Tokyo Disneyland. So. Love the Dumbo ride, the one that you can like control to go up and down. It's funny because when I went with my ex-boyfriend and I wanted to go really high up and he was like freaked out, and it's not even that high and I'm the one scared of rides. But I love the Dumbo ride, you know, Dumbo, I always loved that movie as a kid because I love elephants, so I really do love the Dumbo ride. Wow. I actually have only ever met one character between the two parks. Oh no, I met two actually. I met Cruella de Vil at the LA one, and I accidentally kept stepping on her shoes, and she was so mad at me. Like they played the character perfect. I couldn't help it; they were just vegan in the way. And I've met Tinkerbell, and she was so lovely. And I did get a photo of her, but said ex-boyfriend also deleted that photo by accident. Um, but I don't know. I think one I really want to meet that I didn't get the chance to. Well, if I could meet Mulan, I would love to, but I feel like she's not really a princess. Like, I don't know. I'd have to research more about it. But I think from what I have searched before, she's not a princess that comes out of the parks very often. So I want to pick one that realistically I'd be able to see at every park would definitely be Belle. I know that she's super, like, she's one of the main princesses of the franchise, so I would definitely love to see Belle.
Well, again, Cinderella would be an obvious one. Definitely want to meet her. But also Flynn and Rapunzel. And not just because I love Tangled so much, and Tangled is my second favourite Disney film, but because I've watched videos of people meeting Flynn and Rapunzel at the Disney parks before, and they just seem so nice, and they're really good. They pick really good people for those characters. I mean, they pick good ones for everyone, I guess, but every time I see a Rapunzel and Flynn meeting, it makes me so happy because they're really good at being in their character, and they're always so kind and friendly and funny, and you know, those two characters mean a lot to me as well, and so I just want to meet them, give them this huge hug, and yeah, so definitely them, and Cinderella would be my most wanted to meet, definitely.
Just anything that's sweet and in the shape of Mickey. I can't remember. I think I had like Mickey waffles at Hong Kong Disneyland. So anything in the shape of Mickey, because I love those kinds of things and just look really cute. So anything like that. I don't know, because I never really pay much attention to who's behind the character, to be honest. So I don't know if I can really answer this one. I guess like I'll just say Mulan's. It's my favorite movie. She's my favorite character, so whoever voices her. But I really don't pay much attention to the voice actors, to be honest.
Well, I guess the two that I would like to meet the most, sadly, I cannot meet because they have passed. So obviously I would love to meet Eileen Woods, who voiced Cinderella, both in her speaking voice and her singing, and I bet she would just be a lovely person to meet. Unfortunately though, I can't. And the other one would be Robin Williams, who voiced the genie in Aladdin. I would love to meet Robin Williams in general because he had such an infectious energy and he always makes you laugh. I love his movies, but I would have loved to meet him. So yeah, those two would be the ones that I would want to meet the most. But I guess out of the ones that are still living, I would love to meet the voice actress for Ariel and who does her singing voice. I would love to meet the actor who played Aladdin. So recently I watched the behind the scenes of Aladdin and the making of and all that sorts of stuff, and interviews with the cast, and obviously, you know, and seeing Robin Williams there too, that just makes me want to meet him even more. But yes, I would really love to meet the voice actor for Aladdin actually, because I just really like his voice. And because, you know, Aladdin has come to mean a lot to me very recently, so yeah, I would love to meet the whole crew of that movie.
I would just say thank you. You know, he created something that makes and has made millions of people around the world happy. It's brought people together. Disney is something that so many people can just find a common ground on with love for it, and it just brings so much happiness. So I guess just thank you for the happiness you've made.
I would say thank you and well done. You know, first of all, thank you for creating these amazing works of art and telling these stories, and for, you know, pursuing your dream and going after it and never giving up despite how hard it was at some times. I mean, if you know Walt's story, or even just the story of one of his movies, you know that sometimes it was a really big, difficult challenge, and sometimes he didn't have a lot of people behind him believing in him, but he really believed in his dream and his vision. You know, and Waltz was a really positive man. Like, you know, I've heard it said that he was an optimist and everything like that, and you can tell through his movies that make you feel that way all the time, and it's almost like his spirit is in them. He was a great man, I really believe that, and I would love to have met him.
I'd have to go with Sebastian, I guess. I watched The Little Mermaid for the first time last night in preparation for this tag. I know can't believe I haven't seen it before, especially being one of Shannon's favourite movies. But I would have to say Sebastian. You know, I think for one, he's the one that you really see the most out of the three in the movie. But, you know, he's quite a funny character, and he shows how much he really cares for Ariel. You know, even though it could get him killed, he still tries to help her find her happiness.
Sebastian, obviously, Cheeseman.
Definitely Belle's iconic, like, yellow ball gown. I would love to wear something like that. It is just so beautiful.
My favourite Disney princess outfit, you know, the classic dress that they're marketed in, that would probably be Belle's yellow dress. And when it comes to the outfits in general, the first one that comes to my mind would be Aurora's maiden outfit, her peasant outfit that she wears for most of the film that we see her in. I like Ariel's outfit that she wears. It's a little bit similar when she's exploring the kingdom with Eric. Yeah, I guess I like a lot of outfits that are like that.
I would say the Mulan one. I love all of the songs on that movie, and they're very iconic.
Okay, this one is pretty hard. I mean, I do really love the Cinderella soundtrack, both in the original and the live action. And I love all the songs in the sequels as well, especially some of the songs in the third one. So I guess Cinderella as a whole, all the Cinderella movies have some of my favourite music. Maybe my favourite would be maybe Aladdin, actually. I love the soundtrack of that movie and again of its sequels. And you know, it has amazing songs and lyrics and also just amazing scores. And I just love the general sound of that movie. So yes, I will go with that for my favourite soundtrack.
I actually can't remember. I've only seen the one, and I think it was like some sort of like 4D show, but I don't actually remember what it was anymore. But I'm guessing one that I saw at Hong Kong that was in like a 4D, like, you know, you wore the glasses and things were popping out everywhere, and I really loved it, but I don't remember what it was now. Yes, I have several pairs actually, because when I went to LA, I bought the classic Mickey ones. Oh no, so actually mini ones. I bought classic mini ones. And then I also got like the full cap ears in Dumbo style with my name on the back. And then at the Hong Kong Disneyland, I got pink mini ears, and I love those ones the most.
Yes, I do have one pair. I have these Beauty and the Beast ones that Katie brought me back from her time at Disneyland in Hong Kong, and they do have this part go with them, so you can see the Beauty and the Beast. But they have come off. I had to find some glue for them again. But yes, I don't wear them that much. I just put them on display. But it's cool to have at least one pair.
Well, I've always had Disney in my life since I was like young, whether it was just through the Disney Channel or we had VHS tapes, some DVDs. But I think everyone kind of has Disney from the start. But I think, you know, you don't really like, for me, I didn't really appreciate and discover the magic of it until I was older, and you know, it kind of became a safe place and something that, you know, in a crazy and scary world, that it always just has light and happiness in it.
I guess the same way everyone discovered Disney by watching the films. I don't really remember a particular time where I was first introduced to it. It's just one of those things. Oh, it's an animated film, you're a kid, we'll watch it. But as I got older and started to separate things even more and put them into categories and realize Disney is its own thing, and I started watching more Disney films that I'd never seen before, and yeah, it's just become, I guess, learning more about it. It's become an even bigger part of my life as I've gotten older, I guess. So it's just funny, it's more part of my life now than it was when I was a kid.
Maybe when in Mulan, I feel like it's very iconic when she cuts her hair off and is taking things into her own hands against her father's wishes, and you know I think that's kind of like that whole scene is very iconic. She's cutting her hair, she's going to dress up as a boy, she's going to go into the army, and she's going against her family, her village, and she could get herself killed in it, but she knows what she has to do and she's taking that responsibility.
Well, I don't know what everyone else counts as iconic, because I think there's a lot of subjectivity put into that. The two that I would say that I think everyone else also considers iconic. First one would be the I See the Light scene in Tangled. When the lanterns come and they sing the song, and it's so romantic and it's so beautiful, and Rapunzel's dream is coming true, and yeah, I think people count that as iconic, and so that would definitely be one of them for me. I love that scene very much. And the other one, the Beauty and the Beast scene at the end when when Belle kisses the Beast and she tells him she loves him, and she's crying and she thinks he's dead, and all that kind of stuff. And the transformation, and he comes back to life, transformed into a human again. All of that. I think people definitely count that as an iconic scene. So that would be my other favourite iconic scene.
I guess when I went to Hong Kong Disneyland, like nothing ever could beat that. Like I really did just cry all day. It was like one of the happiest days of my life.
So I don't really have too many memories with Disney, I guess compared to what some other people may have. But I did think of a few. I think it was in 2017. They were doing a Disney film marathon, just showing a bunch of random Disney films. And I also went with my brother to see The Little Mermaid, which was still my favourite Disney film at the time. So that was very special to me to be able to see it on the big screen. I think also maybe the memory of when I first decided that Cinderella was my favourite Disney movie, and I just really fell in love with it as I am. It was actually when I watched the live action, and I think it was the second time that I'd watched it, and I remember after watching that I just decided that Cinderella is definitely my favourite Disney film. This is me, like this story, this fits me, and it makes sense that this one would be my favourite. And yeah, just little things like that I guess would be my favourite memories so far associated with Disney.
I don't know, I can't think of anything on the top of my head actually. There are a lot of scenes that make me sad. I think Frozen 2 definitely is full of a lot of emotion, And I think when things are looking very grim for Elsa, when Anna's kind of like lost her hope and she's trying to pick herself up again, that was very emotional. I did cry in that movie, but I think it's just because I loved that movie so much. So, I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness, every scene. Cinderella clearly has a lot, and I think I particularly, in the live action, when Ella's mum dies, that's sort of sad, and then I think later on when Ella's father is going to go away and they have that conversation in his study, and she's talking about how she misses her mum, and just that whole scene, that whole exchange, it really gets to me. And then in extension of that, when Ella's father doesn't come back and she finds out he has passed, and that really gets to me. And then later on in the movie with Kit, the prince and his father, when his father dies, and that scene is, that's so emotional. Like so many deaths in that movie. But then you cry of happy tears again. I think when he finally finds her and their exchange there, and the wedding and everything like that. And just the whole ending of Cinderella, I guess that's the one that makes me the most emotional. So
I'm also not sure about this question because I just had a quick search, and the ones that aren't official princesses, I don't feel like I really can have a say on it, only because they come from movies that I haven't watched. So I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that have an opinion on who should be a princess that isn't. But I can't really say because I don't really know some of those characters well enough. Or I do, and I just think like, I don't know if they should be an official princess. But that's my answer.
It depends, I guess, what you really mean by that. There are things like Anastasia and Odette from The Swan Princess. I know that those two are ones that everyone wants to be called Disney princesses, and yeah, I don't really care for that kind of thing. And you know, I'm just happy with the Disney princesses that there is, and there just doesn't really need to be any more, you know, or they can make more, but there doesn't need to be anyone sort of brought in that.
Ooh, maybe a world like Frozen, but kind of like Frozen from the first movie and not the second movie. If that makes sense. I don't know, I like Arendelle. I think, but I'm trying to think of like my top Disney movies and what I like, and I do definitely like Arendelle. You know, it's a very quiet, peaceful kingdom. It still has that beautiful nature around it. It's isolated kind of from the rest of the world, and it is quite a beautiful place. Yeah, maybe that.
Maybe I would say Tangled. So you can imagine where Rapunzel lives. It's just so beautiful and serious. It's warm, but it's not hot. You know, it's got these beautiful, you know, tones. You know, the beautiful sunshine, but it's not burning everything. You've got, you know, the lush green grass, the trees, and the flowers. And so I guess I would love to be in that world purely because of how beautiful the scenery is, and I would love to live in that kind of environment. So yeah, I guess I'm going to say Tangled for that one.
Ooh, like any of the scenes where Elsa gets to use her powers. Like seriously though, like maybe like when she does sing Let It Go and she makes like a huge ice castle, or when she sings Show Yourself, and that's kind of like, and she's using a lot of her powers then, and she sees all that magic around her. I love those scenes.
There is obviously plenty of scenes in Cinderella, especially the ball scene and dancing with the prince and all of that, and probably the scene in the live action, the garden scene where they're, you know, out in the secluded garden and they're talking and walking, and the swing, and oh my goodness, I always image that happening to me one day. I would love to just put myself in that scene so much. Yeah, I think I mentioned in our last tag how dancing would be my dream date, but also, you know, going for a walk afterwards in the garden or something like that. So I think that maybe I subconsciously got that from Cinderella, I don't know.
I think in either the live action or the animated Beauty and the Beast, very iconic scene, and one that, you know, breaks the spell for the Beast in either of them, although they do occur at different kind of times a little bit. But yes, I'd say that would be my favourite kiss.
Oh, again, either the Beauty and the Beast one at the end, or the Tangled one at the end, after Flynn comes back to life, and I guess the Beast comes back to life too. I think those scenes are actually quite similar when you think about it. Maybe that's why I like them both so much. Well, I guess, I mean, you know, as I mentioned, my brother and I like to watch a lot of Disney films together, and he appreciates a lot of them. But other than my brother, I am the only one who watches Disney films and stuff like that, and I guess really appreciates them on a higher level.
No, I would say like my sister definitely really likes Disney as well. You know, her and I, we aren't that far apart in age, and we both grew up watching like Disney, watching the Disney Channel and things like that. So we both always really loved it. I would obviously love to see a Beauty and the Beast or Frozen because they are my top movies. So if I got the chance to see those, I would love to.
I only know 3 that have been turned into musicals, which would be The Lion King, Aladdin, and Frozen. I can't think of any others at the moment. And out of those ones, it's definitely Aladdin. Like I said, you know, it's my favourite soundtrack, and the movie has come to mean a lot to me, and it is my favourite movie out of those ones.
I feel like there's not a specific movie I turn to, but if I had to pick one, maybe one of my favourites, I'm guessing. But you know, any Disney movie for me is always a comfort, no matter what.
Again, Cinderella would be one of the first ones, but I think for a purely, I guess, happy film for Disney, I think I'm gonna have to go with Aladdin again. And I do feel really happy when I watch The Little Mermaid, so definitely that one, and yeah, Aladdin. So I think those two.
I'm really not sure how to answer this one, to be honest, because I don't know what I most like, actually. Because I've never really thought of that. No, I'm not sure. I'd like to think that I'm like some of my favourite Disney princesses. Of course, like my favourites, like a good mix of all of them, you know. They all had incredible like inner strength, and I really want to, you know, have that myself. But definitely if I can have like a mix of Elsa and Mulan together, and Belle as well, like I would love that.
I would say I'm a mix of a few different characters. Cinderella, obviously, that's going to be one. But Cinderella is someone that I more want to be like, and really admire and look up to, and just her character is amazing, and I really hope that I can reflect her in my character and my person. I'm also a lot like Belle, I would say. You know, I love to read just as she does. It's one of my favourite things. And I'm a big dreamer just as she is. And I think maybe the one I would be most like, probably Rapunzel. You know, again, she's also a huge dreamer, and so am I. She just spent her whole life locked away, and for her that was literal, you know, being literally locked in a tower and stuff like that. But I do relate to it on more of a you know, metaphorical sense, and sometimes quite literal as well. That, you know, I am someone that has been very kind of locked away, held back sort of thing in my life, and that's due to a lot of things. So yeah, that's where I really connect with her. And also, you know, she's clearly a sunshine girl just like myself. She's creative and I'm creative too. Yeah, I think she's the character that I would be the most like.
Yeah, and I feel like it's hard for me to say because I feel like I've only seen a lot of the popular ones, but I definitely know there's movies like Atlantis and that, which I haven't watched, or I think maybe I have watched, but you know, like 20 years ago, so I don't remember it. But you know, I think there's a lot of movies like that which are very underrated because they're not, you know, as big as, you know, some of the ones that, you know, had a lot of commercial success, but that also doesn't undermine them that they aren't as good as those ones. So I think there's a lot of movies like that.
Maybe the most underrated would be Atlantis. I really like Atlantis. It's my 6th favourite, so it is just outside of my top 5. But I really like that movie. It's really good, and never hear anything about it.
Excited to see the live action Mulan. If it ever comes out into a cinema, I would love to see it, or if it ever comes out for a reasonable price on Disney Plus, then I would again get that subscription and watch it. But until then, I can't justify paying like $40 plus who even knows how much in Australian dollars to see it. You know, it's cheaper for me to watch it in the movies.
I mean, I don't really know any that are coming out anytime soon. I guess I'm just excited for the day when they decide to make another animated film, one that isn't a sequel or a spin-off or anything like that, and is its own thing, and its own unique original story, and is an actual animated film.
I mentioned this with Shannon one time, like they should do like a best friend Disney. And I know they've got like, you know, Elsa and Anna, but they're sisters, but like best friends, you know, kind of like a Diamond Castle sort of movie, you know, like that would be, I think, really interesting to see.
I would like them to do another best friends sort of film, and their journey and adventures together in some new story. Yeah, I think that would definitely be something that Katie and I would like. We like everything that's sort of best friends related. So it'd be really nice, I think, if Disney did a film like that, and showing the values of true friendship. I think that would be really nice. And of course, being an animated film, being something original, yeah, I think that's what I would definitely like to see in a new Disney film.
Well, let me take one from Mulan, a very famous one. But the flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. And I think that goes back to, me hoping to be like Mulan if I could be compared to a princess. She faced a lot of adversity and she still managed to bloom within it all. And, within my life, it's inescapable facing those kind of challenges, those adversities, those really hard times. But I hope I can have that inner strength like Mulan had, like Elsa has, like Belle has, like all of the princesses at some point have, to embody that and continue to bloom despite it all. Well, it'd be one less thing for me to collect. I think it'd be quite a big impact, I think, and I don't know if I could really realize how big now, but I have spent a lot of time in my life, like I said, watching the Disney Channel a lot, watching a lot of Disney movies, collecting Disney things, and those movies are really important, and I do have a lot of memories surrounding them. So I think it would be a lot more empty without Disney.
Well, I guess if it never existed, we wouldn't know the difference. There wouldn't actually be anything to miss. But I do often think that I'm so thankful to have this in my life, and so thankful that Disney does exist, and I guess going back to Walt Disney himself and that he existed, people like that really do move me and inspire me, and it's in their work too, so it comes through in those movies, and I have that inspiration to live for more, and honestly, sometimes just to live. Animation does that for me. It's one of the greatest loves of my life, and as I mentioned, Disney is part of that. But it's hard to imagine my life now without these films, because they're such a huge part of it, and a huge part of me, as I've mentioned, especially with Cinderella and things. But again, sometimes you really need those things that just inspire life in you, and they just help me to keep dreaming. They always lift my thoughts, and they lift my heart, and they help me get back to some sort of a higher ground. And as the quote by Walt Disney goes, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And that's what Walt did, and that's what his movies give to us. And they definitely give that to me, and I'm so glad that it is a part of my life, and I could never imagine being without it. And that's all of the questions. We finally made it through them. This video is probably going to be quite long, but we hope you will find it enjoyable hearing a little more about our favourite Disney things and what Disney movies mean to us. We haven't really talked about it too much on this channel, so we hope you will enjoy this, and we definitely want to make more Disney videos. So if there are any suggestions, requests, ideas that you have for videos that you would like us to do about Disney, please leave a comment, let us know. Yeah, that's all for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, especially if you watched the whole video, and we will see you in our next one. Peace!